Cooper Kupp accomplished practically everything you could do for the position last year. But in 2022, is he up for even bigger year? We'll find out after this. All right, guys, welcome in. And today we'll be talking about Cooper Kupp and what I expect for his 2022 season. Before we get into that, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and let's dive into it. So Cooper Kupp is coming off a Triple Crown season, an Offensive Player of the Year award winning season, a Super Bowl winning season, and on top of that, a Super Bowl winning MVP season. He did not win the MVP of the league. Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back years, but actually he won the most important MVP, which was the Super Bowl. So looking at this, what do I have for the very talented Eastern Washington product? Well, I'll tell you right now, Cooper Kupp is not doing what he did last year. I understand there are a lot of people that seem to believe this year could be the year he breaks Calvin Johnson's record. He's going to be even better. I think he is going to be better, and I think Sean McVay alluded to this. He's going to be better, but you're not going to see it in the stat sheet. The way the guy works on everything and every little bit of his game, I imagine he does improve. But do we see that in the stat sheet? I don't think so, and here's why. First off, you have Van Jefferson going into year 3. He had over 800 yards last year, and we'll be getting to him in this series, so definitely don't sleep on him. Second, they added Allen Robinson from Chicago. He had 412 receiving yards last year, and I believe Allen Robinson this year, due to the amount of double coverage that I believe Cooper Kupp is going to face this year, he is going to lead the league in receiving. Third, on top of that, you have Tutu Atwell, a guy that they drafted in the second round and clearly have some sort of usage for moving forward. On top of that, you're going to have potentially Odell Beckham Jr. back. And on top of that, you can look at the tight ends and the running backs. Cam Akers is healthy again, so I would imagine there will be usage there. And the 5th round running back they traded up to get in Kyren Williams is a former wide receiver in his own right, so he'll definitely be utilized a little bit, at the very least, in the passing game. All those guys, and really only one of them, could be mentioned on the same level as Cooper Kupp, and that's Allen Robinson. Not necessarily at the level of Cooper Kupp, but that type of name. So let's get into what I believe is going to be a very good season for Cooper Kupp, but which some might find a little disrespectful. All right, so that's Cooper Kupp and his 2022 projections from me. I have 116 receptions on the year, 1,438 receiving yards, and 13 touchdowns, way down from last season. I understand there's going to be critics due to this reasoning. However, you have to understand that, yes, that while there are 17 games, really nobody has been coming anywhere near 1,400, 1,500, 1,600 yards. Cooper Kupp went to 1,900 last year. That's kind of unheard of in today's game. The ball's spread out way too much. The ball is run too much. It's just, there's too much there. There's too much talent around Cooper Kupp to assume that he's going to do that again. You look at last year, a lot of the factors came into the fact that, look, you have Robert Woods go down with an injury. You go out and you trade for Odell Beckham Jr. late in the season, so he has to actually learn the playbook. And when he finally understands the playbook, he doesn't have that same chemistry that Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp built up. On top of that, you have Van Jefferson, who's in year 2, and while he's making significant strides, you can't just assume he is going to actually compete with Cooper Kupp as far as targets. And then you look at the tight ends, and not really anybody there. Obviously, Tyler Higbee is very talented, but no one is there on the level of Kyle Pitts or a Travis Kelce or a Mark Andrews or, even, looking at George Kittle. No one is there like that. So when you factor that in, Cam Akers being out, it's not hard to see why Cooper Kupp got a ton of target share, because that's the thing. He was the number one guy. And it's not to say that he only had a really good season because of his target share, because obviously he made the most of every single reception opportunity. However, it is very important to realize that it is hard, and it's highly likely he is going to match that production this year unless there's a significant injury. That's just the facts. to repeat that type of season last year, to repeat when you combine everything, including the postseason, to have 22 touchdowns, to have 2,400 yards, to have 178 receptions, that is just not likely. So I think this is a pretty good comparison, or a good prediction here, projection rather. I think when you look at it, Allen Robinson is going to reap the rewards as far as the yards. I understand some people will be like, why do you have Allen Robinson higher? I think Allen Robinson is going to take advantage of the best situation he's been in his entire career. He's got a great quarterback who's pinpoint accurate, and he's got an incredible set of skills where, his catch radius is going to help him even if the quarterback was generally accurate. So now he has a pinpoint accurate quarterback, and he's lining up alongside Cooper Kupp. You have to imagine that he is going to be able to reap the rewards of what Cooper Kupp is going to bring in this year. You can't be the team that doesn't double Cooper Kupp, because Cooper Kupp just won the Super Bowl MVP, he won the Offensive Player of the Year, and just did something that no one has done since 2005, Steve Smith, with the Triple Crown. So, with that said, I understand a lot of people will be confused, but Cooper Kupp, I believe, is still going to have a monster season. This would be a monster season if he didn't just do what he did last year, but I do think he is going to get slowed down a little bit as far as his pace last year due to the fact that teams are going to scheme around stopping him, which will open up the door for Van Jefferson and Allen Robinson and the passing game out of the backfield and the tight ends, and you can see how that works. I think still, with the connection that Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford have, I don't see him having a down year. This is not a down year. We have not gotten to the point, no matter how good Cooper Kupp is, where 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 116 receptions is a down year. What I will say is that I think he'll have more receptions than Allen Robinson and more receiving touchdowns. I think Robinson will come down with more receiving yards, and I think the reason for this is because he's going to have more premium touches. And what I mean by that is his receptions are going to be deep down the field, taking advantage of the fact the Rams and Matthew Stafford with the Rams have not had that big-bodied receiver deep downfield to turn a 50-50 ball into an 80-20 ball. The Rams have really moved with short and intermediate passing attack with, this field stretcher, occasional field stretching play with Cooper Kupp or, Robert Woods or Van Jefferson or even Deshaun Jackson or Odell Beckham Jr. Now it's Allen Robinson, and I do think Allen Robinson is going to get the majority of those yards in the air. So with that said, that's why I do have him leading the league in receiving. I have Cooper Kupp still coming down with 1,438 yards and 13 touchdowns, because where's Matthew Stafford going to look in the red zone? Of course, he's going to look to the guy that helped him win Super Bowl 56. So that is what I have. I'm very curious to hear what you have. I understand there are a lot of people that seem to believe he's going to be even better this year. I'm just saying, temper your expectations. I think he's going to be better on the field. I don't think you're going to see that in the stat sheet, and I don't think it's possible to see that in the stat sheet. He's created way too much of a buzz, way too much attention is going to be drawn his way, and so it's going to be harder for him to do anything like that. Who's to say a team doesn't triple team him? But that's all I got for you this time around. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And please be sure to check out my channel and look over. I've done all sorts of videos on Allen Robinson and Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson and even Matthew Stafford. So be sure we're going through the whole team, all of the key players. We're projecting their stats for the 2022 season. And so we just finished Cooper Kupp. Next up will be Van Jefferson for the Rams. Hope you guys enjoyed. You guys take care. Later.